According to Immanuel Kant, persons are essentially rational creatures who are deserving of respect. This rationality grounds what Kant called the categorical imperative. The categorical imperative is the fundamental ethical rule from which all particular ethical rules derive. This imperative is categorical in that we must follow it even if we don't want to. Deontology is an approach to ethics that focuses on the rightness or wrongness of the actions themselves as opposed to the rightness or wrongness of the consequences of those actions. For example, we ought not to engage in corruption not because we may end up in prison, nor because we may feel regret or remorse, but because it is a wrong thing to do. Divine command theory is a form of deontological theory which states that an action is right if God has decreed that it is right, and that an action is obligatory if and only if and because it is commanded by God. So, moral obligations arise from God's commands, and the rightness of any action depends upon that action being performed because it is a duty, not because of any good consequences arising from that action. Natural rights theory holds that humans have absolute natural rights and which eventually developed into what we call today human rights. Immanuel Kant's categorical imperative roots morality in humanity's rational capacity and asserts certain inviolable moral laws. Kant's formulation is deontological in that he argues that to act in the morally right way, people must act according to duty, and that it is the motives of the person who carries out the action that make them right or wrong, not the consequences of the action. Simply stated, the categorical imperative states that one should only act in such a way that one would want the maxim or the motivating principle of one's action to become a universal law, and that one should always treat people as ends in themselves and not as means to an end.